fellow fathers, men, divorcees, men. I watch a lot of politics. I watch a lot about dating women. I watch a lot about divorces. I watch a lot about everything that pertains to men, especially. In watching many of these videos, there's one thing that I notice, and that is that when it comes to prenuptial agreements, no one has tackled the subject of how to present a lady, a woman. We're going that direction, okay, from a man presenting to a woman, whether his wife, a girlfriend, a fiance, a prenuptial contract, how to do it. I do watch a lot of videos that shows what happens when you don't do it the right way, how it creates chaos, how it hurts, especially the woman, especially if she's been dating you for a while. By a while, I mean, a couple years, or even living with you, but not married. And now you decided to get married. And then down the road, you go ahead and hit her with a prenuptial. Watch a lot of videos recommending that if you have assets, especially a house, put it in your mother's name, your father's name, a brother's name. Take it out of your name so that in the event you get divorced, your ex, who will be your ex naturally because of a divorce, will not get the house, which is the biggest mistake you can make, is to put that house in someone else's name, a man or a woman. That's not the way you do it. You can really screw yourself. Or should I be more specific? You can really fuck yourself by doing that. But I don't hear anybody talking about why. Why is it that if you put your house in your mother's name, you fuck yourself possibly? No one talks about that. But let's talk about first about why, or how I should say, you should put how you should present your beloved. This is man to woman. Okay, women have it made in the divorce court, which is really more of a. I mean, that's not really even the correct name. And then they call it family court. Forget it. It has nothing to do with family. The divorce court, family court, is nothing but fucking the man. The man gets screwed all the time. Back in 2004, when I got involved, 2000, well, 2005 to be more exact, when I got involved in my own divorce, because my ex decided that she came and told me she had no reason for the divorce, but she came and told me that I want to be free. I want to be free. I want to be free. Yeah, that's what she came and told me. I want to be free. And I said to her, well, I'm not, I don't have bars on the windows, bars on the doors. You can walk out and come in anytime you want. What she really means, and what a woman really means when they say, I want to be free, I want to get my life going, is I want to be free, but I want to take every fucking thing you've got. I want to take the house. I'm going to take the bank accounts, the 401k. I'm going to take everything that I can so that I can have my freedom. In other words, they want to be free to do whatever the fuck they want with your shit. Okay. Because to me, if a woman does not have a biblical reason for a divorce, and really, but there's only two reasons that I believe firmly for a biblical or Torah divorce, and that is number one, infidelity. The man goes out there and screws somebody else. Number one. And the other one is the man is physically violent, physically abusing, kicking the shit out of their wife, etc. That I believe that's reason for divorce. Financial problems is not a reason for a divorce. Didn't you marry for richer or for poor? Okay, it's not a reason for a divorce. Matter of fact, if you go through financial times, the fact that you're together, you stand together, you're hooked up together, etc., so that you can make it through as a couple and whatever shit you're going through, and not make it as one or as the husband and wife making. In other words, the wife, let's say she had her own little business or whatever, you have your own little business or whatever, etc., and so that she doesn't go through, let's say she's losing her business for whatever reason, etc., so that she doesn't go through the loss of her business by herself. She's got her husband to encourage her, support her, blah 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 blah. Okay, but anyway, so in my case, my wife decided that she wanted to be free. After we met with her father, I had a financial collapse, personal financial collapse, and instead of my wife supporting me, she instead we went to her father, and her father basically right in front of me. I almost kicked the shit out of him. I really should have. I should have put my fist right through his fucking face. He told her that he would help her. He by he meant him and his wife, or in other words, her mother. They were both right there in their living room in their condo, and he told her. He said, I will help you, but in order for me to help you, you have to take your husband and you have to put him on the street, and you have to separate, divorce him. Yeah, right in front of my face. But then we were married 14 years, dated for 2 years, and during those 16 years, her parents, all they ever did was attack me. But anyway, let's get away from that. I'll discuss those things and more about that in other videos. So be sure to subscribe. You're going to love it. You're going to hear stuff from me that you've never heard in any of these dating videos, any of these videos on let's see, dating, divorces, affairs, asset management, prenuptials, a lot of stuff that you're not aware of, okay, and that attorneys won't tell you at all. But anyway, let's keep going. So the biggest, I have not seen one video yet, not one, and I have probably watched 30, 40, 50, who knows, a lot. I definitely watch a lot of videos on relationships and and women going crazy, guys go, mainly women going crazy and this, that, through a divorce or women cheating. There is a lot of that. And you know what? I've come to the conclusion, which is, I believe is 100% true. It's the majority of the women are the ones who cheat. Do men cheat? Yes. But it's usually the woman. And we already know that over 70% of women are the ones that file for divorce for whatever reason, and no reason whatsoever. Women know that if they go to divorce court, they get everything. In other words, they fuck their husbands really good, but not in the way that the husbands want to be. But anyway, so all of these videos, none of them explain how to present the prenuptial. And the way you present and when and more not really the way you present it, but when you present it can actually screw you and make your prenuptial invalid. In other words, you destroy it. They don't talk about that in these videos. They should, but I think the reason they don't is because they're ignorant. Do they talk about good things for prenuptial? Yes. But I'd be willing to say that most of these that talk about the prenuptial have never even seen a prenuptial, have never ever worked on a prenuptial, wouldn't know what to put or say or do in a prenuptial. Okay. And if you don't know those things, you can make a great prenuptial, but still end up screwing yourself, etc., by missing a lot of stuff, this, that, or whatever. So, when is it that the prenuptial should be given? On everything that I've seen, the prenuptials are always given to a woman in which the man has already been in a relationship for a couple of years, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, whatever. They're not married, they're living together, but they give them the prenuptial when the man decides that he wants to marry that woman, and now he gives her the prenuptial. That's one way that it's done. And naturally, the woman goes berserk. I understand. The woman goes berserk. Why, after 5, 6 years, you don't trust me? Well, my answer to that is hell no. I don't trust you for a damn second at all. And I talk about that from experience. When my wife filed for divorce, and I got the initial divorce document, I'll never forget it. It was 9:07 p.m. on a Friday night. If I remember correctly, it was a Friday night. But anyway, it was definitely at 9:07 because I'll never forget it. And I read it, and like on the second or third page, it says there that I should not have custody of the kids because I will molest them. What does it mean to molest a child in today's world? Being politically correct, socially correct, whatever. What does it mean to molest a child? It means to sexually fuck them up. So that I should not be given custody because I'm going to fuck my kids. I got 2 boys and a daughter. Back then, the youngest boy was 9, and then Isaac came after that, and he was like 10 and a half to 11. And then Katya was like 12 to 13, something like that. And besides the molestation that I would do, I would also physically abuse them if I was given custody. This is what she accused me of. And that I would murder them if I was given custody. Not only the 3, but also the ex. Oh, let me tell you something. That night was the fucking nightmare of my life. I could not believe that the woman I was married to for 14 years, dated prior to marriage for 2 years, so we knew each other for 16 years, was now accusing me of sexual molestation of my children, physical abuse of the children, and murder of my children and her. Anyway, let's keep going in relation to the prenuptial. And I'm going to go a lot more into that so that you learn. I will teach you, I will show you a lot. I am available for private, personal consultation in relation to your prenuptial, in relation to your court, in case you're involved in divorce, this, that, and whatever. But I'm not free. I used to be free, but I'm not free anymore. People don't. I've learned that individuals who you do this for free, they don't appreciate what you've done for them. They don't even say thank you. So I'm not free. You want my help? You want my advice, counsel, whatever? It'll cost you. Now you can learn a lot from these videos and etc. And I'll guide you as much as possible about it. Personal one-on-one type consultation on your assets, on your divorce, etc., and things like that. I have a consultation fee, minimum of 3 hours, and then by the hour after that. Well, I should say in 3 hour increments, and then we go from there. But anyway, let's keep going. So the guy gives his beloved a prenup after they've been dating for a number of years. Well, I mean, it's going to create a lot of pain, and it's going to damage the relationship. It's going to make her not trust you. And believe me, they trust you when you're dating, so to speak, and when you're married, etc. But then when they file for divorce, they don't trust you anymore because they want everything, so they can't trust you. Because if they're going to get as much as they can from alimony to child support, and really, child support is actually, when you study the law, you'll find out that there is no such thing as child support. It's actually alimony. They just call it child support, but it's not. It's alimony. But anyway, let's keep going. So that's one way of presenting a prenuptial after you've been dating a few years. after you ask her to get married and you're going to get married in 2 years, but you want a prenuptial, or what most men do, from what I've seen, is they wait until just a month or so, maybe 2 months before the actual marriage. I mean, yeah, before the actual marriage, walking down the aisle and getting married. And then they hit her with the prenuptial agreement. That is the worst fucking thing you can do. Why? Because if she has a good lawyer, if she has a good lawyer, he's going to get your prenuptial thrown out the door. Why? Because he's going to present you as trying to extort her. And in a sense, he's right. He's going to present you as trying to blackmail her, taking advantage of her, trying to humiliate and embarrass her in front of all her friends, which have already been sent invitations to the wedding. Many of them might have even had to buy airline tickets to come to wherever the marriage is, where you live, because they don't live in your city anymore. They live on the East Coast, and the marriage is on the right. So they've done all of this, and you naturally hit her with a prenuptial that she says she's not going to sign. But she knows that by not signing, she now, because you're not going to do it. The man's not going to do this. The woman has to do it. She has no choice, because as a rule, a man can tell his invitees to the wedding, as a rule, less than 10 people. If she has a big wedding, she's got 100 people coming, and 90 of them, they're all her friends, family, etc. They're not yours. You don't even know who the hell they are. Okay. So she's got to go to all of them and let them know that the wedding's off. Then depending on the time period, there's deposits that you might lose. In other words, financial damage, etc., and this, that, and whatever. In which then she can sue you for those damages and this, that, and whatever. Embarrassment, emotional damage, you name it. Now you've got yourself a potential lawsuit, which is going to put you in court with her for the next 2-3 years, because now she's suing you for 10 million fucking dollars. Why? Because you did it wrong, you idiot. Now, how can an attorney that's really good and worth his money is going to get your prenuptial thrown out because of all those things I just mentioned that you cost her? And so the judge is going to throw it out. So I tell women whose guy gives her a prenuptial 2 weeks. Listen, I've even seen videos of men giving their fiance a prenuptial agreement a week or days before the wedding. Now, I think one of the reasons men do that is because they want to force her to sign that prenuptial. They don't want her to think about it. They just want her to think of, gosh, if you don't sign it, all these things, all the people she's got to attend to, all the deposits, all the money that they're going to lose, this, that, or she's going to lose because she, whatever. And so the man's trying to put her, and that's the way a judge will look at it. You're trying to extort her, blackmail her, humiliate her, coerce her, threaten her in ways to sign that prenuptial. He's going to throw it out. So I tell women who get prenuptials in that time period, just sign it. You're going to get it thrown out anyway. If you got a good attorney, the judge is going to kill it. And they'll put you up in that witness stand. When did you give her that? 2 weeks before? Why didn't you give it to her 3 years ago? Why didn't you give it to her before you were even a fiance? Before you even asked her? Oh, why now? Oh, whatever. Doesn't make any difference. You lose. And now you're going on a regular divorce, and boy, that judge is going to look at you, and he's looking at you like a side of beef. He's going to carve you up into little pieces, because that's what these mother effers judges do in relation to the man. They're there to eviscerate, destroy the man. I'm going to tell you something, a little bit of history. You know this no-fault divorce? I'm going to tell you something. Do you know who established, who created, who made, whatever, the so to speak, no-fault divorce? I know you don't know, but I'll tell you. Now, I don't remember which of these two it was, but it was one or the other. The divorce court came from communist Russia, and the no-fault divorce, and it was instigated created by either Stalin or Lenin. I just can't remember because I saw this research back in 2005, 2006. It was a communist system for divorce designed to destroy the man. And boy, have they done a job. Myself, when this shit happened to me, I was suicidal for a number of years, and from 2005 until 2015, and from 2005 to 2009, I was in heavy um, um, depression. I couldn't work, I couldn't do anything, and all this kind of stuff. But and I'll talk more about that in more videos that I'm going to put together. So again, be sure to just subscribe, and we go from there. So anyway, when should you present it? ASAP upon meeting a woman that you might be or think possibility exists that you might end up wanting to, what do they call, court her, that she might be a possibility for marriage down the road. I'm single. In the first from 2000 from 2005 of the divorce all the way till about till 2017. That's 12 years. I wouldn't even have a cup of coffee with a woman. Don't even fucking talk to me. I saw what women do in divorce court. Now, to give you an example, my wife's ex-wife's brother. Well, actually, she's not my ex-wife. We're actually still married. She's going to find that out, but I'll talk about that again on other videos that I'm going to put together. And therefore, make sure to subscribe because you're going to learn stuff. You're going to learn stuff that you might be able to use in relation to your own divorce. And you might want to talk to me for consultation, but I'm not free. Okay, so I want to get married. Believe me, I do. And I used to believe in the concept, and I did with my wife, and that was not have sex until I get married to her. And we did pretty much follow that up. But then she did something to me that really surprised me. And even what surprised me even more is why she did what she did. And when she told me why she did what she did. Now, again, you want to learn that story? Be sure to subscribe and like the video. Believe me, you're going to love what I talk about because you have never heard anything like it. For example, I'm going to share about how the judge, with my wife's attorney and my wife, attempted to burn the house down where I was living in order to destroy evidence of felonies they committed against me in the kidnapping of my children. They failed. They tried. They set up my house to blow up. Yeah, blow up. No shit. When that failed, 10 days later, they tried to assassinate / murder me. Almost. I ended up in the hospital for there in Tulsa, Oklahoma, St. Francis. I ended up there for 3 to 4 days. Yeah. Why? Because the evidence that I had against them would hang all 3 of them, and I still have that evidence. And I am coming back to Tulsa, Oklahoma, to hang them all in the courts. Well, actually, I'll be doing that from Richmond, Virginia, where I will have a house that I will be living in, and so that will be what you call the domicile. And I will be suing them in the federal district court that's located in Richmond, Virginia, which forces them all to come to Virginia Again, there's a story to that. And in order for you to get it all, you need to subscribe. But anyway, let's keep going. So when I have a lady that I'm very interested in, she's Asian, emigrated to the United States from Hong Kong, has her own custom designed wedding dress boutique right outside of Los Angeles, does her own custom designs, etc. She does not do off the rack, buys wedding dresses from the wedding dress companies and then puts them on. No, she doesn't do that. Everything, her prices start from at 30 grand and they go up. I asked her one time, "What's the most expensive dress you've ever done for somebody there in California?" She told me 300,000. Wow, unbelievable. But anyway, let's keep going. So when should you present it? I'm going to present it to this. Now she already knows about the prenuptial, but she might not understand it. She's got a little bit of language thing because she grew up in Hong Kong with her native language is Chinese, and so when I tried talking with her on video, it's hard because she's still Chinese. All her friends are Chinese, so they talk Chinese all the time, and instead of English, which is I've told them a number of times, that's a mistake. You should be talking English. But anyway, since you're here, but anyway, we go from there. So when I go back to her, I'm going to talk to her and present her with a prenuptial agreement way ahead of time. In other words, before we even, let's say, have feelings for each other, fall in love for each other. She knows I'm interested in a relationship that's marriage, and she knows that I'm interested, even though I'm 74, in a relationship in which the woman will be able to give me children. Now, why does a 74-year-old man need children or want children? And why does a 74-year-old man, what kind of age does the woman have to have in order to give me children? Early 30s is what I prefer, 29 to 32. And she's in that age, and she has no problem with my age. She has no problem with getting pregnant. But before any of that happens, I will have a prenuptial in front of her where there's no emotional feelings. We're not in love. We're not in all of this crap. She'll be able to read it without getting feelings involved, emotions involved. She'll be able to look at it as a business contract because that's what it'll be. And then in order for us to proceed after 4 or 5 days in which we kind of see whether or not there's an interest, and if there is an interest, then I need the prenuptial. Why? Well, because when I come back to the United States, in which I just got word yesterday that we've got a meeting with one of the top banks in the United States to close the deal. And that deal will put me in eight to nine figures, and could even hit 10. Now, within 2.5 years, it will be 10, multiple tens. And so I need the prenuptial signed and this, that. There's no emotions, there's no feelings. So she can't be hurt. She's going to look at it as a business deal, so to speak. And we'll tell how when we have kids, children, how that we end up taking care of that in the event of divorce and creation. Now she's a millionaire in her own right. She does crypto options. She has made quite a few millions. So she doesn't need my money in any way, shape, or form. I don't need her money either. But I'm not stupid. What? She's not stupid either. It's also for her benefit to get a prenuptial. So prenuptial's done this, that, whatever. And one of the things about the prenuptial is we will go in front of a judge. Now, that prenuptial will not be finalized within the United States. It will be finalized outside the United States in a country that has the most perfect and best true equal divorce between the man and the woman where neither gets screwed, and it really, I shouldn't say neither. Where I'm going to say is where the man doesn't get screwed. It is extremely rare that the woman gets screwed in a divorce, but I'll tell you when she does in a few moments. So anyway, we're going to get married in this other country. We're going, but the prenuptial will be signed before the marriage, etc. And actually, the prenuptial will initially be signed within, a, you know, let's say within 60 days of me getting to know her and deciding that I do want to proceed to see if we end up getting married. If I see that we're not going to get married, I'm not interested for whatever reason. I mean, we haven't had a cup of coffee yet. Well, I'm not going to. I'm not going to. How do you put it? Proceed in relation to a prenuptial. Well, what for? I see that we're not going to make it, or she sees we're not. She's not interested, etc. But we are interested in one thing, and that is she's going. I'm going to give her several $100,000, and she's going to work the crypto with the options, and she'll get a commission and this that. We're going to do that. So it'll be a business arrangement that we're going to do, regardless of whether we get married or not, etc. But anyway, so that's when you get it signed. And in the divorce, she, in my prenuptials, she waives any and all rights to have the divorce done in any country other than the one country that I want it done in which the divorce is treated the best between the man and the woman. That's the only country she can file for a divorce because she waives in the prenuptial any other country. So if she takes this in front of a judge in the United States, I'm basically going to tell the judge, fuck you. You don't have any jurisdiction. There is here, you know, she waived that she will not bring a divorce if there's ever one, blah, 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 blah. But in my case, the only reason for a divorce is, like I stated in the beginning, infidelity or beating the shit out of her. Well, I never beat the shit out of my wife, okay? And I was never unfaithful to her. She just wanted to be free, as I stated earlier. So anyway, that's it. Nothing else. So I'm not going to go before any freaking judge and give him jurisdiction. It's not going to happen. She waived it, so she can't go before a judge and etc. And not only that, but when we get the prenuptial signed in the country that we're going to have the wedding and all that, we'll go before a judge prior to the wedding, and the judge will finalize it, and she will have a right to get her own lawyer and get consultation from the lawyer and this, that, and whatever in relation to. In other words, it's going to be so fucking airtight that I'm not concerned, and she's not concerned. But like I said, she's a man. She drives a freaking late model supercar, a Ferrari. But anyway, she doesn't need my money. She doesn't need it. But when it comes to money, people get crazy. So you do the prenuptial anyway, and a story. So that's how you do that. Now I'm going to talk about a lot of other things, but brief summary. You should always do the prenuptial within the first 60 days, 30 days, even within the first week or so. At least mention it to a woman you've dated a couple times and just let her know. You're going out with her 2 or 3 times. You say to her, look, I'm interested in a serious relationship. Are you? Well, if she says no, okay, that's fine. Bye. Don't keep taking her out to dinner and this, that. What for? What for? Waste of time, waste of money. Okay. If she says yes, then you let her know. Well, listen, if we ever do get married, before marriage, before this, I'm going to want a prenuptial agreement between us. It protects you because a prenuptial does protect the woman. There's no doubt about that. Protects each party. But the women are always, oh no, this, that, and they're no. It protects the woman also if she has something to protect in relation to assets. But women, they like I said, 70% of divorces are done by women, and most of those women have committed adultery. They have fucked around on the husband. Okay, most of the time in a divorce, when there's infidelity, it's the woman with the infidelity instead of the man. The majority. That's a fact. That's statistics. But even with that, as a rule, the judge gives her everything. They can go and fuck around with 10 men, whatever, and this, that. I mean, and it don't make no difference overall. Judge going to give her everything she wants anyway. Especially if you don't have an attorney and you're there, on your own. Oh, judges don't like that because then you're not feeding their buddies, the lawyers at the bar, with money for their services. You're not paying a lawyer, and judges don't like that. You need to pay my friends who I play golf with and have dinner with and this, that, and whatever, and we have orgies and all that. You need to hire one of these guys, okay? Oh, you don't hire that? Negative, negative. Oh, she has a lawyer? Yeah. And all that kind of crap. So we go from there. So anyway, so you got the summary. You present a prenuptial at the beginning. And I will look over you. If you have a prenuptial, I'll look over and tell you what's wrong with it. I'll tell you how to improve it, how to make it better, or what's missing and all that. But I don't do that for free. Okay. But anyway, that's how you present a prenuptial. But I'll also guide you in relation to if you're married, you can't do a prenuptial with your wife. Let me put that out there real quick. You go to your wife, who you've been married to now 10 years, and say, look, I want to sign a prenuptial. I guarantee you, you'll have divorce papers in front of you within 30 to 60 days, and she'll be asking you for a divorce. So don't be freaking stupid and do that. But I will tell you, and I will share with you how you get her to sign off on the assets, and she won't even realize that you did that. It'll be a prenuptial without saying it's a prenuptial. I'll share with you how to do that. Just a plain fact. In my divorce, I only had one asset because we lost the house. Okay. And that was the car, the minivan. And that was funny. Let me share this with you. Come to think of it. Nah, I'll do it for another video. So make sure you subscribe. Okay. So that's it. There's nothing more. Okay. And welcome aboard. My name is Jaime Burbano. I'm an American Patriot. I fled the United States because of the divorce, because they were trying to kill me in 2009, September of 2009, a few days, okay? And I've been living here in Colombia, South America, where I was originally born, okay, since 2009. So I'm here now. In this September, it'll be basically 17, 18 years, but I'm getting ready to go back. And I got good news last night in relation to the deal that I'm involved with. And it looks like it's going to close this week. And that means I will be on my way to Panama to meet with lawyers, etc., to put together IBCs, LLCs, holding companies, corporate souls, and on and on and on. Foundations. And then I'll take about another week or so in Panama as a vacation, wining and dining, and then I'll be heading for the United States. Meeting with my legal associates who we're then going to go after the judge and her attorney and her. Okay, and I had a meeting with them just on Friday or Thursday of this week. 2-hour meeting. We can go after them. And I am going after them. Just the way it is. So anyway, you need assistance. I'm going to put in the subject line or in the information line. I'm going to put there my WhatsApp. You can reach me by WhatsApp, or you can reach me also by signal.org, or you can call me direct. If money's not an issue, you just dial me direct. 57 is the country code, and then you'll see the rest of my cell phone number. But WhatsApp or Signal is the best way. Leave me your name and this, that, and what you want to talk about, and then we'll go from there. And hey, and no, I will not date any Western Americanized liberal feminist. But I'm going to have fun with them when I get back. I'm going to have a lot of fun. Okay, but there's no way I'd marry them. I want a Asian woman. Asian women are very patriarchal. They put the man first. The man's the head of the family, this, that, and whatever. The American women are all feminized. I don't care. My wife was a Christian. And the moment she walked into that courtroom, she took her Bible and threw it into the fucking trash can. And I'll give you a little interesting story about that. Her brother, we were talking. She had already or was getting ready to file the divorce, one or the other. And and her brother, George Gongia, nickname, he said to me, you know, my sister's going to fuck you up real bad when you get into the divorce. I said, no way. She said, yeah, Jaime, she's going to. I said, no way, man. I mean, you know, I haven't done anything to her. We get a divorce. We just go in there 50-50 and this, that, and whatever, and a story. And the kids, this, that, I know. She said, no, no, that's not what's going to happen. I said, well, how do you know? She said, and he said, he works, he's probably retired now, but at the time he was an avionics airline mechanic for American Airlines right there at the Tulsa hub. And Tulsa, I don't know how much you know about Tulsa, but Tulsa is super Christian. I mean, they've got some of the largest ministries worldwide, even on an international basis, are located right there in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I used to call Tulsa the Jerusalem of the West. Christianity is all over the place, etc. And I said, no way should do that. And he said, yeah. I said, why do you think that? And he said to me, Jaime, I know so many friends and have so many friends at American Airlines. They would go to Willie George Ministries, Bob Yandian's church, and involved in ministry all the time. If they're not at work, they're in ministry with their wife. And they, just like me, I was always, if we were at home, we were at the church. Our life was in the church. And he said to me, I have seen so many of these wives. I've been told by the husbands when they went into the divorce, they threw the Bible in there and then they just fucked their husbands big time. Took everything they could, get their hands on, make their husbands pay alimony, child support, whereby the husband is now living in a little room somewhere and she's got the $1 million house. Judge gave it to her and my friend is still paying the mortgage on that. I said, no, she won't do that to me. She, no, I can't believe she. And man, she did more than that. Accused me of the sexual molestation of my two boys and daughter. She threatened me. Just to let you know, she threatened me that if I didn't stop the divorce, she was going to accuse me of raping my daughter, Katya. Wow. I told her, go ahead. I said, go ahead and accuse me of that. Well, and Katya's old enough, so the judge will allow her to be put on the witness stand and then have my daughter, our daughter, accuse me of raping her. Go ahead. That's something for her to live for the rest of her life, because that put me in prison. It'll probably give me 20 years, but I'm not giving up the divorce. I did give up the divorce later. I stopped it. I gave her, you know, and I fled after they tried to kill me, but I'll tell you why in another video. Go from there. Okay, that's it. Great talking to you, and enjoy. And I'll spread this video around. I'm going to put it on TikTok and see what happens. Go from there. Oh, and I'm going to put it on about 7 or 8 different Facebook, TikTok, and there's about 5 or 6 Patriot type social sites. Talk about this. I'm going to put it on that. I'm going to put it on all these YouTube channels that have to do with divorce and dating. I'm going to put these videos on here so that why? Guys, we need to know how to handle a prenuptial. We need to know how to handle a lot of stuff, and I'll guide you and go from there. Okay, later. Bye.